Sheesh.
And their opponents at a combined weight of 725 pounds, Chad Gable, Drew Gulak, and Otis, the Alpha Academy.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Lonnie Liberal here, calling the action here. We got Evolution taking on the Alpha Academy and Drew Gulak. And right now, Jean-Claude is getting attacked by Drew Gulak as he's taking down Chad Gable. He takes his focus off of Chad Gable just for a second, but comes back to the action on Chad Gable with a belly-to-back suplex delivered to Chad Gable by the Intercontinental Champion Jean-Claude, and a flying jumping enziguri by Jean-Claude delivered to Chad Gable now, and a backbreaker into a crane kick maneuver delivered to Chad Gable, and only a 1 count as the count was broken up by Otis. And there's some action going on now out on the floor with Randy Orton attacking Chad Gable on the floor as the referee's counting Jean-Claude in the ring now, taunting at the crowd. And Randy Orton, but Chad Gable cut Randy Orton off with a counter with a DDT on Randy Orton onto the floor. And he has Randy Orton into a submission maneuver as Chad Gable now. Jean-Claude catching trying to distract the referee, letting the referee know that Chad Gable is on the floor to not break the count up. And Chad Gable now on top of Jean-Claude, but Jean-Claude cutting off with a back elbow and a curb stomp to Chad Gable by Jean-Claude. Jean-Claude saying it's over here. He's measuring Chad Gable with a middle rope splash maneuver. Why he doesn't go for a pin attempt, we'll never know. That's a matter of opinion. And a hook. Jean-Claude hooks Chad Gable with a neck breaker and tags in Gabriel Slade. Gabriel Slade, the legal man now. Gabriel Slade hooking Chad Gable with some wrestling maneuvers. Gabriel Slade hits the ropes and just punt kick Chad Gable to the side of the head. Now he goes for a cover attempt, but only a 1 count as Otis was able to break the count up. This is a 6-man tag team contest. This matchup is sanctioned by the Fantasy Pro Wrestling Federation. And a tag made again, a double team maneuver setting up with Jean-Claude and Gabriel Slade. Double back body drop delivered to Chad Gable in a cover attempt. But only a 2 count as Chad Gable is quick enough to get that right shoulder up. But Drew Gulak. Gulak is in the ring and thrown out of the ring by Randy Orton. And there's a lot of chaos here in the WWE territory right now. Jean-Claude and Chad Gable going back at it. And Chad Gable hooking Jean-Claude for a double underhook suplex, but it was countered out by Jean-Claude. And Jean-Claude now has Chad Gable hooked, sends him over into his corner. They're really working Chad Gable over into the corner right here as Evolution. Jean-Claude with those stiff kicks to the side of the head. Chad Gable trying to go for a cover tag, but was cut off once again by Jean-Claude. And Jean-Claude throws Chad Gable over the top rope and drop kicks him over onto the floor. Chad Gable in a lot of trouble right now. And Jean-Claude going over after Otis, attacking Otis into the other corner, drop kicking Otis onto the floor, and going after Drew Gulak. What's he going for with Drew Gulak here? Ooh, a belly-to-back suplex delivered to Drew Gulak onto the ring apron, the hardest part of the ring. And Jean-Claude now back in control onto Chad Gable. Chad Gable's wounded and needs to get over there and make that tag. Jean-Claude hooking Chad Gable into his corner and tags in Gabriel Slade. Jean-Claude setting Chad Gable up to the top rope for a superplex. Gabriel Slade on the other side with a splash and connects. Now there's a cover attempt. Otis in the ring, breaking up the count. Chad Gable in an exquisite amount of trouble, needs to get over and make that tag, but Gabriel Slade goes after Otis now with a belly-to-back suplex. Oh, into the hard apron. And Otis is wounded and damaged. And now he goes after Drew Gulak, this Gabriel Slade. He needs to keep his eye onto the opponent in the ring. That's a matter of opinion. And Gabriel Slade hooking Chad Gable once again back into his corner, back first into that turnbuckle. And he tags in Randy Orton now. Chad Gable was going for the tag, but Randy Orton went to go for an elbow drop, and it was countered by Chad Gable, but quickly cut right back off by the veteran, Randy Orton. And Randy Orton going after those legs now. Chad Gable wounded, staggering into the corner. There's Chad Gable, that's a matter of opinion. And Randy Orton with a dirty tactic. Those eyes, rubbing those eyes across the ropes. Old school veteran maneuver. And a cover attempt. And broken up again by Drew Gulak. They're going to have to get rid of both opponents if they're going to win this matchup as Evolution. And Chad Gable now with a bit of a comeback. Going back after Randy Orton. A neck breaker delivered to Randy Orton. And Chad Gable has Randy Orton, hooking Randy Orton in the corner, but nowhere to tag. It's Chad Gable. Chad Gable's tag partners are on the floor, distracted by Evolution. And Randy Orton cuts Chad Gable right back off. This might be that opening Chad Gable might be looking for, but Randy Orton has Chad Gable into his corner. It tags in Jean-Claude now. They're setting up for that double team maneuver. Jean-Claude off to the second rope with that double axe handle onto the arm of Chad Gable, busting Chad Gable open. But Chad Gable is quick enough to make that tag, and the tag's been made to Drew Gulak now, or Otis. But Otis is immediately cut off by the Intercontinental Champion. And a double stomp delivered to Otis. The cover, referee in position, but only a 2 count as Otis was quick enough to get that right shoulder up. Otis is still kind of fresh. Chad Gable's wounded. And Jean-Claude once again goes after Chad Gable, going after the wounded arm. But Chad Gable, double backdrop suplex, and Chad Gable onto the hard part of the ring, and now going after Drew Gulak now. Looking Drew Gulak for a submission maneuver, that lock submission. He has it locked in, cinched in deep, but he lets go, realizing that, yes, that Otis is the legal man.